Hi, planner friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha and I am Platypus Plans. And today I just got my new pilot Kakuno, and I can never pronounce this correctly, so I'm going to have to look at it. Madoromi. This is in the, I want to say this is the brown in a fine nib. And I also got these pilot sepia ink cartridges. And I'm really excited about this. I've actually wanted this pen for a while. I'm not a fan of fine. I really like the extra fine, but this is such a pretty pen that I couldn't resist. Okay, so here it is. This is the pen. They give you it looks like a blue. It says B, or maybe it's a black ink cartridge. And the literature in the back, let's see, I think it just tells you in Japanese about the pen. So you can do Google Translate for that. And then, quick diagram, how these pieces belong, but I think you can figure it out. Okay. I'm going to have to take this off because that kind of ruins the whole aesthetic. So let me do that. So these things did sit out on my porch on this 100-degree day. Not for too long, about an hour or probably a little bit over an hour, hour and a half. And I know the postal delivery person, the mail person, did their best, try to put in the shade, but of course, the sun moves. Actually, it doesn't. The earth moves. And so therefore, when I got home, this stuff was in full sun. So hoping it's all okay. Right. I just think this is just such a pretty pen. From what I understand, the word Madoromi, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it means dream. And I think that's actually just gorgeous. All right, so if you have never done this before, this is, this unscrews. Here's your nib, and your nib is so cute. I don't know if you can see this from here. It has a little smiley face on it. And the sides have a little bit of indentation to it. It's not flat like a Lamy Safari, but there's a little bit of flatness to it, which is really, really nice, because sometimes when I'm holding a pen that is like super, especially a fountain pen that is super like round, like a what is it called, a preppy, right? It just starts to turn, and I end up writing at a really, really weird angle. Anyway, so I don't have room in my house or my life for bottles of ink. I do have some bottles of ink, and I'm actually pretty excited. I wanted this one, even though it looks pink. It says it's brown, and does it say it's brown on the package? No, it actually says pink. I, for some reason, thought it was a brown. I was going to say it looks really pink, but I very much like this brown sepia ink color. So I wanted to see how it was going to be. I do have these 2 bottles of ink that I got through Coffee Monsters Co. This is the Robert Oster signature. This is Day to Night. And something also maybe a little bit more brown is, because this one looks very purple. I haven't even opened it yet. This says it's Coffee Monster, which I think is super, super cute. And this is probably like a much truer brown. I just, you know what? I just don't have it in my life to store bottles of ink, right? I barely have it in my life to store, pens, which is why I generally buy fairly cheap pens. So, okay, let's open this. And every pen either has a converter or has specific cartridges that will work for that pen, right? Okay, so just to double check on this, because I have actually put in a cartridge wrong, and that's okay, but it's been wrong, right? So, oops, sorry. Let me show you this. And, people think, oh God, how could you do this wrong? Well, you know what? I have. And it's okay to do it wrong, but you got to learn from it. You can't keep doing it wrong. Okay. So if I'm looking at this picture and lining it all up, it is going to be the cap. This is the nib. This is going to be the ink, and this is the body of the pen. So let me do that. All I have to do is push in, just kind of pop, push it in. Now, please don't yell at me. I probably should have cleaned it, but honestly, I just got a little bit excited. And also what I'm going to do, as I'm screwing and unscrewing this, I'm just going to give this a little squeeze, because sometimes it needs a little squeeze, okay? And then I'm going to just let it sit. And that is such a pretty pen. And I don't think that my lighting is giving this Kakuno really the proper credit. It is very, very pretty. Okay, let's see how this is going to be. So I am just going to, and it's not yet feeding through. I'm also very, very curious about this nib, because normally, oh, look at that. Is that not pretty? That is so pretty. The sepia. Wow. Okay, so my handwriting's pretty much crap, but I am going to write down this quote. Happiness will never come to those who fail to appreciate what they already have. This ink is absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a Pilot Kakuno. And this is a fine. And the ink is okay. So, gosh, it's so pretty. Now, I actually don't even remember whether I said this or not, or maybe stopped in mid-sentence. But every pen has its own proprietary ink cartridge, or some pens use universal cartridges. If the pen will only take a certain cartridge, you can get that cartridge, a converter for that cartridge. So you can fill it up with any ink. It's going to work as long as you have the cartridge or the converter for that pen. And I do have one somewhere around here. I had in my head had plans to save up for a decima or vanishing point or something like that. But that's probably not going to happen at this point, because I realized once I started getting very involved with fountain pens that I really don't use them enough to justify actually having them and being into that hobby. But I'm okay with buying relatively inexpensive ones, and this one's a real beauty, and I'm so glad that I got this ink. Okay. Let's test this out, okay? Because that looked really, really nice in this on this. So what I have been working with is this Estelle by Any Plans Classic Daily Weeks. This happens to be a 2024. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just go back in a couple of videos. I explain this to you. I just kind of redated some things, but really what I want to do is test the paper. So I'm going to go to the back, and this is volume 1, which I'm no longer in because this is January through June and it is July. So I have no real use for things, for these pages back here. So I want to see what's going on, okay? So I'm going to take this, I'm losing words, you guys. This thing, I'm going to place it, and this is from Sterling Ink. I'm going to place it behind my page, and I'm just going to see what this looks like and what the bleed through or the drying time is like. So I'm just going to go ahead. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Super, super close. I'm going to make the same little loops. Beautiful. Shows up really nicely. I can't even tell that this is fine. And that was like, what, 10 seconds I've waited. And then I'm going to, so it smears just a little tiny bit, right? That very last, that really last loop. So it's going to take a little bit to dry. So when I actually put in my plans, in my planner, when I write out my plans, then that's something that I have to remember. Okay, so this is, again, I can see it. And as far as I know, I still have to look this word up. It's I can see it. It definitely needs some time or blot. There are some kind of like wetter patches. They're not even patches, but there are some wetter things. Okay, so I'm going to wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, I did not count very evenly, so I'm going to guess it's around 20 seconds. And I'm going to do that again. Okay, 20 seconds. Absolutely fine. All right, so this is the ink. Pilot Sepia. I wonder if someone's at the door. One of these little blotches. It's so pretty. Okay, I know that's going to take a little while to dry, but what I really want to do is look to the other side. And really, that's not a lot of, it's a little bit of shading, but there's zero bleed through, even in places that I thought were going to bleed through. I'm going to take my finger and wow, okay, nice, nice. Okay, cool. So now I know I'm going to do a plan with me very soon with this fountain pen in my current in my current or Estelle. So I'm really excited because this is just, it's really lovely. I need an excuse to write more. Right? I need to figure out how to write more because this is such a pretty, pretty, pretty pen. Okay, so thank you for helping me unbox this pen and testing it out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.